Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DiChiara once again bringing you another amazing version of Joe DiChiara Presents How to Win at Business. And tonight I have a special announcement. We are not only brought to you by Bedrock University, where you can get a free college education. Classes are open now. There is no COVID on the internet. The only virus you're going to get maybe is a computer virus. and tonight, my announcement is that we are also bringing on a new sponsor, Sudoku. If you go to Sudoku.com, you will get life-saving COVID masks. They're planning all kinds of Christmas decorations and stuff. So go to Sudoku.com now. That is not a paid announcement. That is a company run by my mom and my sister, and I'm very proud of them. And they are very, very good sponsors. So now, if you don't know me, like I said, my name is Joe DiChiara. I am a CPA serial entrepreneur on a mission. And my mission is pretty simple, and that's to help educate the 25 million business owners that are still classified as a sole proprietor and convert them, or at least show them, and the people that are advising them, how an SCorp is really the best way to go. So I'm sort of getting ahead of myself here because I'm so excited. I've been doing a lot of research on this subject. I've been butting a lot of heads with people, and not in a bad way. You know, I respect everybody's opinion. And you know, and it seems like everybody has a different opinion on what is a very, very simple mathematical equation. And tonight I am honored, I am blessed to be able to present this to you in a logical way, so that anybody should be able to make a simple decision. And you know, I want to tell you that I am so happy that Thanksgiving is coming up. And yesterday was Halloween, and then it's going to be Christmas. And then guess what? And then we're going to be into 2021. I remember when I was a kid and I saw this movie called 2001: A Space Odyssey. I think it was like 1968, and that was like science fiction. Well, we're 20 years after that, and this is exciting. You know, 2020 has been a very strange year for a lot of different reasons. But you know, hopefully, if you're like me, you've run the gauntlet, you've adjusted, you've pivoted. And for me, 2020 is going to end on probably a better note in a lot of respects than ever. So it started out like pretty bad. You know, for me financially, I tossed a bunch of big clients. I just had it with them. I wanted to pivot my business. And just lo and behold, by coincidence, which I don't believe that there's any coincidences, we went through this pandemic. And it actually was probably one of the best things that ever happened to my business, because I was already pivoting, and now the whole world was pivoting with me. So it's almost like, you know, I was rowing this boat, and then all of a sudden I had, you know, the stream was exponential, and I got swept along with it. And along the way, you know, my business has prospered, and you know, it's really the collaboration with people like my friend Elizabeth Frederick, Haley Gray, people that joined my mastermind group. And this wasn't the topic for tonight, but, I feel like I am at a turning point with this subject that really has taken over my life because it just has. It just has. I'm being compelled to share this stuff with you, and let me go through this with you. So, if you haven't been here before and I've already scared you, then I've done my job. Sometimes, because what I'm going to tell you now, sometimes I scare people. Probably I scare them away from doing business with me, which is okay, I guess. But, I like to talk about things that nobody really likes to talk about, like how tough business is. And tonight, what I'm going to do is we're going to talk about the 3 major reasons why SCorps rock. And I'm not sitting in the sidelines anymore. I've done my research. I think I have a pretty good handle on what the problem is, why it is a problem, and why nobody even really thinks that it's a problem. It's like, I don't even want to get into it, but that we're going to go through this and I'm going to show you logically why SCorps rock. And this is part of my business entity creation series, which, to be honest with you, I'm mystified that I even have to discuss this topic, but it's needed. And I've said this plenty of times, in the world that I came from, in the CPA world, it's like we have this bubble. You go into the CPA office and you get CPA type clients. And it turns out that those clients are the people that have already run the entrepreneurial gauntlet. They've already survived. They went past the trial stage. They've suffered. They've paid their dues. And when they come to a CPA firm, either on their own or usually by a referral, they've already decided that they need to be an entity. They've already decided. And if they're not already an entity, and what I mean by that is the entity that matches their particular situation. So I'm not just going to throw a blanket on that everybody should be an SCorp. If you have an operating company, you should have at least one SCorp. I believe that every entrepreneur should have at least one SCorp for tax planning purposes. So being in that CPA bubble, which I burst out of a couple of years ago, and I discovered this sea of sole proprietors. 25 million sole proprietors. And I said, something is wrong with this picture. So we are going to talk about that. And the real problem, so let's get, my friend John Limbacher says, ask somebody what they want and then ask them again why they want that, and then ask them again. Because your initial idea usually isn't what it is. So you have a problem. So people come to me and say, oh, I have this problem. I need to up my sales. And then when you look at it, it's like, well, they got plenty of sales. They have a different problem, but so they think, so it's, and I'm trying to think of a good example, but it's like they have a symptom. So it's like you have a cold, and right. So I had a cold a couple of weeks. I had a sore throat right away. I thought I had the coronavirus. So I went and got tested. No, I had a cold. So it wasn't what I thought it was, thank God. So the real problem here, when you cut through all the minutia, all the details, all the distractions, all the noise, all the everybody talking, the real problem is that We're born with the problem. Life is tough. Think about it. When a baby is born, you don't come in laughing. You come in kicking and screaming and crying. It's not fun. It's painful. And we go through all of these life experiences, and we're always trying to figure it out. Always. I don't know about you, but when I read this book, The Road Less Traveled, and in the first paragraph, he said, life is difficult. Once, and this is the truth, folks, once I accepted that, it became easier. Not easier, it became simpler, because that was the fact. Life was difficult. Now, what's crazy, what sets entrepreneurs apart is the fact that then we start a business. Now, we take a life that's full of complications, all kinds, and now we throw, you're not going to simplify it by starting a business. You're going to make it even more complicated and more stressful. It's a fact. And this is what people, they get. It's like the entrepreneurial shock. Oh my God, what did I get into? Okay. And it turns out it's not most business, actually. It's all businesses. And that's why 8 out of 10 businesses fail, according to Forbes. That's according to Forbes. That's a quote that I took out. My friend John Limbacher, who I respect, and he says, given enough time, they're almost all businesses fail. And he's right. And I actually forgot that he said almost. Some of them survive, very, very few. And the only way they survive is if it's an entity, if it's a corporate entity, and somebody takes that entity and continues it past the owner's lifetime. Otherwise, the business is going to go out of business. Now, you could start saying, well, what if the guy passes away and he made a lot of money in a business? Well, that's not a failure. Okay, that's a success, but you got to put it, they're not in business anymore. Okay, so I don't want to split hairs on success and failure, but the truth is that business is tough, and that is why most of them fail. We overcomplicate everything as entrepreneurs. We fail as business owners because we have unreal expectations. We don't know what we're getting into. And when I say we, I'm talking about when there are brand new business owners. I did it so many times. Hello, Beth. How are you? So we go into a business. We go into the happiness business. And after like 3 to 6 months, we find out that it ain't so happy. I'm not so happy anymore because it's complicated and it's confusing. And everybody's telling me different stuff. And if I don't speed this up, I'm not going to get through my whole presentation. My goal always is to show you how to make your business simple, fun, and profitable. Okay. And I like to work with happy people like my friend Beth. Because when you're happy and it's simple, it's a lot easier to make money. So I put this question out there, and this was part of my research. I put this question, which is a fairly straightforward situation that happened thousands of times when I was working in my CPA bubble. A client comes in. They're making money. They already went through the gauntlet. Like I said, they've proven that they have a business. They're making money. Okay. 40-year-old woman making $80,000 a year. Okay. And this is the only, so I'm making it as vanilla as possible. Thank you, Beth. You're wonderful too. And we're gonna make a hashtag. I'm hearing a lot of stuff about hashtags now, so I got to make like Joe DiChiaro wonderful hashtag, and then I don't even know what they do, but we're gonna start doing them. Anyway, so this is so when I drove my ice cream truck, if you know my story, let's say I had an ice cream truck and I made $80,000. Which I might go back to next year if things keep up like this. Okay, it was a simple business. There's no, even today, they don't have computers. You can't get it. You can't pay. You probably could buy ice cream with a credit card because it's like, it's like $20 for an ice cream sandwich now, I think. But anyway, so I have this simple question, and I'm like, why do people make this so complicated? So, but before I go, I'm going to share. Okay, so I promised three. I promised 3 reasons why SCorps rock, and I'm going to give it to you right now. And it's simple. SCorps rock because the net profit from an SCorp is not subject to self-employment tax. So if you make $10,000 as a sole proprietor, you're going to pay about $1,200, $1,300 in self-employment tax. If you make that as an SCorp, you pay zero. And that's what I'm going to, so that's one reason you're going to save money on self-employment tax. Number 2, SCorps do not get audited. Okay, I handle, and most of the people that will talk to you about IRS audits are people that never actually handled an audit. Okay, the truth is that most CPAs, most enrolled agents never handle a tax audit. And I have a unique experience of handling hundreds of them, hundreds. And I could tell you over 37 years as a CPA, I have seen 3 SCorps audited, and they all had major red flags on them. I've seen thousands of sole proprietors audited. So that's 2, Beth, okay? That's 2. Less audit risk. It's incalculable. And don't talk to people that will tell you about, talk to somebody that has handled audits on the front lines, on the firing lines. I'm talking about going through appeals after all the way up to tax court. I'm talking about criminal investigations where you find out what triggered the whole investigation. Okay, don't get information about tax audits on Facebook like this. Get it from somebody that's been there. Okay, Beth, sorry to hear that. And so, so Beth, maybe we should do an interview on this. And I'm going to run out of time now, so I'm not going to be able to get to the juice of this because I've uncovered what I believe is the real problem. Why people are so confused. Reason number 3, corporations get respect. Sole proprietors get no respect in the business world. Your business is tied to your Social Security number. When you go in for a bank loan, you're going in for a personal loan. You're not going in for a business loan. Okay, so that's 3 reasons. I can bring up the legal protection, blah blah blah. I promised 3. Thank God I didn't promise 5. So that's 3. So let's go into what I discovered here, because it was pretty eye-opening, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble here, including myself. But let me see. Okay, so I'm going to have to unshare this. So remember, this was the question. So now I put this out there to a large group of tax preparers, professional tax preparers, enrolled agents, tax attorneys, CPAs, and a lot of people that are just getting into the business. And so I put that question up there, and the response was earth-shattering for me. Let me see. What am I doing wrong here? Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to read to you the answers that I got. Now, so this is from professionals, and I'm just going to read them. I don't want to show you where they came from. Here's the first. It's not an easy answer. Talk to her, research her situation versus the corporation options, and let her decide. Okay. So she's saying it's not easy. Well, what's so complicated about this? What is really so complicated? I'm going to now share with you what this person is saying is, okay, how do I stop the share? There we go. Okay, so this is the spreadsheet that I set up with the info. So this is what she's saying is complicated. We have one person making $80,000 a year, and we have to decide. There's only 3 choices. Forget about the C Corp or the SCorp. So we have 3 choices. It's not 18. So this is a professional saying this is way too complicated. Now, this is somebody that people go to do their taxes. And she's saying, wait a second, I have to make a choice here, but out of 3, this is too complicated. I think you better go see a tax attorney. So there's 3. Okay, so that's one issue. So now just keep in mind, these are the people that new business owners are going to for tax advice. The next one, a little more logic. I would advise her on how her tax picture would change based on the 3 different choices, because there's only 3. Okay, so let's do that. Let's advise her on the tax picture, because, and then she wants to tell her to talk to a lawyer. A lawyer, okay? Why? The legal ramifications. Well, I'm not covering legal ramifications here, folks. I'm not covering legal ramifications. I am not covering legal ramifications. This is a tax question. So let's plug the numbers in at 80,000. And I have a much better calculator here, but I just want to show you. So over here as a sole proprietor, that's one choice. Then you can be an LLC, but as you could see, an LLC is the same as being a sole proprietor. So really, an LLC is not a choice, not for tax purposes. So you really only have 2 choices. Let's look at them. We do nothing. We pay $9,600 in self-employment tax. We become an SCorp. We take the 80. We pay ourselves $30,000. Now I could have made this a lot more drastic. I could have just left the 80 over here. because, and then we would pay, so we pay nothing in self-employment tax. With a W-2, we're going to pay about, let's say, $4,600. Oh, but now we have, some of them say, oh, the additional fees. The additional fees. Okay, so I'm going to charge you $1,800. Listen, if you have a business and you're not paying an accountant, I think that's a problem to begin with. Okay, so let's overstate the fees. I'm overstating the taxes, $6,000. So, I mean, you're still $3,000 ahead, folks. Why is this so complicated? Tell me, why is it so complicated? It don't seem complicated to me. Let's get, oh, here's some other brilliant. It all depends on the net income and the relationship to reasonable compensation to income. What you save in self-employment tax, you give up in a 1099, a 199, a section 199A, Elizabeth, if you're listening. Now, this is a guy, this guy's a heavy hitter. I mean, he's got high net worth individuals. Unfortunately, none of this matters. So what he has done is what a lot of people do. They overcomplicate it, folks. Let's go to the income tax calculator now. Okay. And I'm going to end with this. So I'm going to show you a single person, 2020. Now, we're going to put them all, forget about this. It's going to be all self-employment income, 80,000. That's it. Okay, look at that number, 20,209. Okay, 80,000 in income, 8,000 in regular taxes, 9,000, 11, almost 12,000, and that's the self-employment tax. Total 20,000. Now, let's change it to my calculation here, because now we'll get, so you'll see it's not just on my spreadsheet, and now there is no self-employment income because that 50,000 in profit now so voila, what's less, 20,209 or 10,000? Now let's take out $2,000 in accounting fees. You're still $8,000 ahead. Add to that the lower audit risk, the fact that now you're a corporate president. This is a slam dunk, folks. It's not complicated. If you're one of those professionals out there that are overcomplicating this and you think that you're giving legal advice, you're not. You are not. I am not a lawyer. I don't give legal advice. I give tax advice. And what kills me with this is that you got 25 million sole proprietors that are at risk. And they're asking us, they're asking professionals for the guidance. And you people are lousing it up, okay? There you have it. The majority of CPAs, enrolled agents, and whatever financial business type of professional, if you're advising clients to stay to be a sole proprietor, contact me and I will debate you on the facts on how this works. Because you, my friends, you are the problem. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. If you're in the business field and you're talking to people about setting up entities and it doesn't include an SCorp, then get out of the business. Or go start advising your high net worth individuals, because what I'm talking about, the people that are getting hurt the most are the people that can't afford it. New business owners are being unfairly targeted, purposely confused by the government, by the business community, being held down. You're giving the wrong info if you're not telling them to be an SCorp. I'm getting a lot of feedback from you people telling me that you're watching my videos and you don't agree with me. Well, come out and debate me on it. Let's talk about these QBI deductions, and let's throw in some advanced accelerated alternative minimum tax depreciation into the calculations, right? It don't apply, folks. That stuff don't apply. That's my story. I am sticking with it. It's been the same since I started over 40 years ago. It's always been like this. SCorps are the way to do business. If you don't agree with me, bring it on. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Thank you.